It's unlike any other property in the UK, maybe even globally. The only way to explain the Mandrake, you hear about it and you see it, but until you experience it, you really don't know what the Mandrake is. Seeing people's emotions, seeing the impact that you have on people's lives without realizing, because it's such minute moments. That's what hospitality is to me.
Welcome to Sweet Talk by the Hotel Magazine. Today we're in the heart of Fistrovia, just a stone's throw away from Oxford Street, at a very unique property. Our guest on today's Leadership Series episode of Sweet Talk started her career by studying law before moving into hospitality. She very quickly progressed from washing glasses as a barback to F&B roles and eventually into leadership positions. Although still very young for a hotel GM, her CV boasts positions at the Doyle Collection and most recently the Zeta Group. Most importantly, she's one of the kindest and most fun people in the industry, the first ever female general manager of the Mandrake, Eljesa Saciri, or as we know you, El.
Oh, hi. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. I mean, we just run through a few of the kind of achievements so far in your career. A lot of this is common knowledge, I think. Just start off, share 3 things with us that we won't know, even us.
I'm a huge bookworm.
Okay.
I don't watch television. So that's one fact in itself.
Cool. Yeah.
Very rarely. Like maybe one series a year. Second thing is that my favourite colour is not what everyone assumes it is.
Black, I would assume. No, red.
Red?
Okay, red, the lipstick. Yeah, that makes sense.
Neither.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you, but it's neither of those.
Okay, can we guess?
Yeah, we can be here all day.
Orange. Is that orange? Is that right? That's amazing. I just saw your bracelet and just guessed orange. Is that right? That is right.
And now the whole world knows.
Wow, well, there you go. There you go.
And the third thing is that my favourite spirit is whiskey. Japanese whiskey specifically.
Nice. Any particular type or like any particular brand?
I'll show you guys when we go down later.
Okay. Talk to us about this place. I mean, it is amazing. So tell us, where are we? Why are we here?
We're currently sat in the greenhouse, which is one of our 2 outdoor areas in the property. I recently joined as you said, first female GM. And I think everyone will say this about their property, but this place really encompasses it. We are not just a hotel. We are an all-encompassing experience. The Mandrake is a 5-star luxury boutique property. We have 34 rooms, so we are very small. However, we're also larger than life. We have 2 bars. We have 2 restaurants. One is outdoors. We have the world's first immersive spa.
Wow, okay.
And recently launched.
Yeah.
And we have a very recently launched members club as well.
Which Tom has
experienced. I've been still recovering. I recommend it though. It was fun.
Successful.
Yeah.
How did this all come about?
Ironically, when it opened in 2017, I'd said to a few people that I was working with at the time, and I was a waitress at the time, I think, one day I'm going to run it.
Oh, really?
So when I got the role, I made those calls. It fits. We just make sense. It's unlike any other property in the UK, maybe even globally. The only way to explain the Mandrake, and me and Tom had this conversation, you hear about it and you see it, but until you experience it, you really don't know what the Mandrake is.
Tell us about Rami, the owner.
I've never met someone quite like Rami. And the Mandrake is his love for the arts brought to life. Yeah. The Mandrake is him giving back to the heart of London. You know, he grew up in London and he grew up in the arts world. And I think the vision of the Mandrake for him was to give all of that love back and create a place that welcomes the odd ones out.
Mm-hmm. You can see walking around, like you've explained a lot of the different pieces of artwork to us. and they all have like a story to them, which is like really cool. You walk in and like the chandelier is like, everything's got a unique story behind it that's just...
And every piece of the collection is owned by Rami personally. So it's all part of his personal collection. And you can see his passion come to life throughout the building. You can see the vision come to life throughout the building. Learning all about it, it's a little bit different until you kind of get to grips with all of it. But it's phenomenal.
So you mentioned to us off camera, so there's some very unique quirks here at the Mandrake. One of these is a sexual wellness offering.
Yeah.
Please tell me about it.
So we have the fabulous Sophie Cohen, who is a film producer, a sex expert, a educator, and she hosts the Mandrake Salon, as we call it, which we're looking at enhancing, but I'm not going to give away too many secrets. She holds group sessions and private sessions where essentially groups of people or individuals are able to take part for further exploration. And now this may be kinks, this may be education around sexuality and sensuality, to fully welcome, I guess, those sexual experiences within themselves and with their partners. I think it's twofold for me. It's a fabulous thing. One is that it takes place at the Mandrake, which is a safe space, which ensures that those that are taking part feel safe.
Yeah.
And I think it helps, the beauty of having it here, being the Mandrake, being that we are so avant-garde and ahead of the curve with taboo topics, that it's just normal for us. Yeah. And exploring sensuality is normal. And we need to welcome it a lot more within our lives. And we're fortunate enough to have Sophie on our side.
With it being so unique, there's so much going on, from everything from Sophie to the artwork and everything. How's your first month been?
It's not been overwhelming at any stage. And it's genuinely felt more like an experience than a job. Every day when I walk into the building, I walk through the portal and I'm taken away from the life of London, taken away from the world.
Yeah.
And I'm just here.
What does I suppose like a perfect stay here at the Mandrake look like from your perspective? I know you're only a month in, but what do you need to do here?
I've already captured it, and we will be selling it as a package. It's the all-encompassing experience, as I call it. So it takes place on the last Friday of every month. Now, the Mandrake, when you come in, we are the dark and the light, which is expressive of who we are all inside as beings. So you will either be taken by your light side for restoration and healing, or by your darker, more playful, sinful side. The all-encompassing experience captures both of those elements. You will come and check in on the last Friday of each month. You will dine in Joppo, which is our restaurant. You will then join us for a Mashahari late night.
Okay. Interested.
We have DJs, so the best DJs from around the world performing, and it is essentially the most enthralling club night. We also have performances that take place through that night. That goes on until you can no longer function.
Straight.
And then you go to bed. We send you off to bed. The next day you wake up, you join us for breakfast on Jurema Terrace if the weather is well enough. And then we send you to Dharmā for restoration, for healing. We have treatments, we have the world's first origin pool, we have mud caves, which will restore you. We also offer IV drips, and therefore we can heal you back into restoration.
Bring you back to life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the day doesn't end without experience something from our spiritual well-being offering. So be that the 7 chakra afternoon tea that we have, or one of the sound healing sessions. So you're fully restored to be sent back out to the world.
Tell us more about the origin pool.
So Dharmā is our spa. It's the world's first immersive spa. And what we've done with Dharmā, or what was done, because I've taken it over, I didn't create it, but I'm very grateful for it, is combined ancient rituals with modern technology for restoration and healing. Our spa isn't about, beauty. It's about wellness. It's about healing. And in that we have the Origin Pool, which is the first of its kind in the world. It's a 40 to 45 minute experience, which is an elevation of a flotation tank. It encapsulates all of your senses within it. We use chromotherapy. There is salts from Austria that are used in that. We have digital kind of visual aids for the first 7 minutes of the experience that were created specifically for the Origin Pool by an artist named Royko. And going into the Origin Pool is essentially meant to feel like going back to being a baby, fully restoring, fully healing before all of the alcohol damaged you.
Rewinding back even before the beginning of your career. So tell us a little bit about your early life, your upbringing. Tell us about baby Eljesa.
I think quite a few people know this. I don't shy away from it, but it's also not something that I touch on too often. I came to the UK with family as a refugee from the war in Kosovo. I grew up in a tougher side of London, experienced a lot of difficulties in terms of language and barriers and socio-economic difficulties as well for most of my life. But I'm so grateful for every kind of part of it. I think because you can't afford to have any fear when you've come from war, when you've come from a background that I have. But something that I figured out this weekend, interestingly, unfortunately for you guys, through discourse, is that I actually spent a lot of my youth after being in the UK, seeking powerful women. It just wasn't something that I'd seen.
Yeah.
Stories of my background and war and, the men go to war and, the women are at home. And I'd never heard of powerful women. So I made it kind of my agenda to seek that. And it's interesting that I've only figured that that's what I was searching for at the age of 30.
Yeah.
And I so badly wanted to be a woman that I'd wish I'd seen growing up.
What kind of, there's particular people that spring to mind when you're thinking of these powerful women?
We've now commenced having the discourse surrounding what being a mother is, what being a woman is. But when I was growing up, that wasn't a thing, especially in the area that I was growing up in. Those conversations weren't happening. My culture was very much, you get married, you have a family, but no one spoke about the career of women, what women are doing in the world. And I think that's the part that rubbed me the wrong way and made me so determined to be part of that change.
Do you think that's kind of led you to be as successful as you are? That kind of, that belief and that thought that...
I wouldn't brand myself successful. I think I've got ways to go yet. But the determination, absolutely. Absolutely. It was critical for me that I can be an example to the next generation. And we'll speak about it a little bit later. But I was so desperate to change at least one person's life.
Yeah.
To be an inspiration for at least another young woman.
You were studying law.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
How did that end up in a career in hospitality?
So I think a lot of people know the story behind that. I was studying law. I was doing kind of work within a law firm for a little bit. And it just, could you imagine me in a law firm?
No. I was very surprised when...
I mean, it's beautiful to have that background. It comes in very handy. And so I got a job at a arcade as a barback in County Hall. The Doyle Collection had their Christmas party at the arcade. And the marketing manager at the time, and I always say this, I owe my career to Joshua Craddock. He was like, you need to come and work for us. And I had no idea about the industry. And at the time I was like, yeah, cool, some drunk guy, whatever. Like, you know, you're young, you're like, oh, bro, whatever. I'm doing a law degree. This is just a thing. But then I was like, I've got to get out of, like, it was an arcade. I was a bar back. It was gritty. Like, it wasn't cute. It wasn't, but it was so much fun. So I emailed him, I think, at the time. I think I created an email to email him. And that's kind of where it all started. So then I joined the Doyle collection and the rest is history.
Like, how have you achieved so much so quickly? Because from bar back to here, how many years is that?
2016 to now, so 9-10 years. Well, 2015. Yeah, so about 10 years or so.
Because there's no clear pathway into being a GM. I think we all know that's. But how have you done that so quickly? I think there's probably tons of young people in hospitality out there that would love to be a GM but don't have that clear pathway.
I'm so tenacious. I ask all the questions. I've got no boundaries, and sometimes that's a beautiful thing to have, and sometimes it goes against me. Once I decide that I want something, there is nothing that will stop me. But I think the fortune that I had is, one, I've had people along the way that truly believe in me.
Yeah.
For the flip side, that branded me super difficult. And we'll get onto that as well. But I had people that believed in me. A little bit of luck, very right people at the right time saw me. And also I understood very quickly who I am not.
Yeah.
I think there was a bit of confusion for me in, okay, so these people do not want me. I do not fit here. So where do I fit? And I never understood that I could create my own table and I could bring others in to join me. I am very boutique. I am very different. There's so many ways you can put it. But I'm not, I could run your corporate properties, but my personality would die. Working out what doesn't work for you is more critical than working out what does. Because you can play around within those boundaries and those lines. But if you're stuck in what doesn't work for you, you know very quickly.
Yeah.
And if you stick with that, you suffer. And in turn, your career suffers.
You said you really enjoyed how fun it was in the early days.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you're doing what you do now, you still find it really fun. Yeah. And how have you made that happen? Because I guess a lot of people, as they climb the ladder, it gets more serious, more to lose. How have you kept it so fun, and how do you enjoy it still so much?
It's something that one of my mentors said to me. We're not saving lives. We're changing lives, but we're not saving lives. It's not a hospital. It's never that critical, ever, at any point. And if I come in and I'm grumpy and I hate what I do, then why am I here? No one's forcing me to be here. But also, it all starts from the top. If my energy's crap, my team are going to hate walking through the door every day. Whereas, you experienced it last week. My team is outstanding. Yes. And the energy that my team had. But that comes from me invigorating them, me ensuring that this is a safe space for them too, that they want to be here. It is all fun and games because do you know what? Even as a consumer, when a guest walks into the property and they see you having a good time, they want to be a part of that.
Is there anything like specifically you miss?
So we had, at the Zoyal, I was super fortunate. The bar back area was right next to the kitchen. It got refurbed after. And we had a phenomenal head chef. His name was Paul O'Brien. And he just used to feed me all day. So I'd just be like in the bag, polishing glasses, playing music, eating all day. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. So I think that I'd say that was probably a part that I really miss.
Do you think that helps with kind of how you bring your team together now? The fact that you have done jobs at most levels of...
For the team to see me pick up a tray and move around, some of them get really annoyed because they're like, you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, guys, this is together. Yeah. I am not better than anyone. Yeah. I'm a part of this. And the only way we're going to be so successful is by doing it together.
Now, a quick word from our partners here at Agilysys. So I'm here with Duncan Osborne. Duncan, so what are the common mistakes you see from hoteliers when it comes to approaching revenue management?
Hi, Beck. Thanks for the question. And it's a really valid, important question to answer, actually. So what we come across with Agilysys a lot of the times is hotels where they've got disparate systems that are all from separate suppliers that don't really talk to each other. And what that creates is a bit of an issue with the data that you're looking at, the revenue you're trying to recognise as well, because you can't really recognise revenue properly. Sure. So if your databases, and databases is the core word there, multiple databases are not really talking to each other, getting a full understanding of what the guest impact on your business is really difficult. So you're having to pull different reports into an Excel spreadsheet, put those together. Now, some of us love Excel, some of us don't. I'm one of the ones that doesn't necessarily, because I find it hard to work with it properly, but it does eventually come to a core revenue report, which is great, but it's a lot of manual work putting that all together. So if you have a setup the way you have like one platform, so Agilysys has one platform from multiple different parts of the business, so whether it's point of sale, PMS, sales and catering, sure, retail, membership, etc., spa, all that individual spend a person is making, you get a really true core picture of exactly what revenue they're creating with your business as well. So when you have hotels that have multiple different systems in place, you've got a point of sale that's not talking to your PMS, that's not talking to your spa, that isn't understanding what retail revenue you're creating as well. It becomes a huge sort of set of data that you've got to then pull together and try and make it as accurate as possible. And it's really difficult to do.
Sure.
So you have these different silos in place and you've got to understand exactly what revenue goes where. You've got to have someone in place who knows how to pull all that revenue together to give a true report to the owners or whoever it would be. And it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. So if you do have one core system in place, sure, one core database, you have one understanding of one guest. So Duncan Osborne's spend in the bar is X, but spend in the spa is Y, spend in the cinema is Z.
Yeah.
You know, you have a great way then to market to that person as well properly and say, look, hey, you're spending with us, really great, but we'd love you to maybe look at the food and beverage offers that we have, or, sure, you know, we got this offer for cocktails in the bar or whatever it would be. So you can then market properly to that individual person as well and really hit their sweet points and sort of say, hey, we understand that you have a great love for X dish in the restaurant or X wine in the bar, but actually have you considered this in the spa or this and this?
So it helps you understand your guest's profile, and also it's about having, you know, all your systems talking together to avoid that kind of chaos and limbo of not knowing where.
Yeah, and chaos, you are the right word. I think disparate systems creates chaos.
Sure.
And it's very hard to manage all of that. So if you have one central database, you have one database that you look at and that it's talking to the rest of the business, it makes life so much easier.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you for joining us.
No,
appreciate it. Not everything is plain sailing in hospitality. We're all very, very, very aware of that. What struggles have you kind of had along the way?
I've been branded as difficult for so long. And I don't mind that. I'm okay with that. But it makes me worried for others that want to be themselves, but are afraid to be branded difficult because of how I have been branded. I know that within the industry, I'm an anomaly. And I'm okay with that. Again, it's another thing that I'm completely okay with. But I fear that, you know, just a me can't make a difference on her own in the industry. And having these conversations is critical. I think when I first got into management, managing people that were older than me was a bit of a struggle. A lot of those people at the time were my colleagues that I then became a manager, because I now don't see myself as a manager. I'm now a leader. But in those roles, I was a manager. That was difficult. Getting a bit past it now because apparently no one thinks I'm too young anymore. That's okay.
You hit 30 and that's it. You're not too young.
You hit 30 and it's game over.
I feel your pain on that one.
A lot of people didn't believe that I have the commercial acumen that I do, because I have these conversations and because we have so much fun. They don't see that.
People get that misconception that there is more
to what I do.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, people really underestimate my commercial acumen. And I don't mind that, because then I sit down and have a discourse and they're like, oh.
Do you think that, like, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but do you think having all of that doubt does drive you and sort of contributes to how determined you are?
Oh, I don't doubt myself. I get annoyed.
But from others?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to prove to you. Because the only person that I'm in competition with realistically is myself.
Yeah.
But I have this constant need of I need you to understand that you can be young, you can be a female, you can be foreign, and you can be absolutely smashing it. And I'm a testament to that. And unfortunate, because again, there's people that have believed in me, that has allowed me to get here. But also, I will keep driving until it's lit in front of you.
I think that's the key thing, is obviously there is an element of you make your own luck. You mentioned earlier you feel like you've had luck along the way, but
Yeah.
I think you're discrediting yourself there a little bit, because I know how hard you work, and I think that hard work is how you eventually get
But
to
if
this.
no one sees it, right people at the right time, that hard work is also useless. It goes to waste. And I think a lot of people have given up within the industry with that frustration. They've been exceptional, but no one's taken a chance on them. And a lot of them might have been similar to me. So that's where I say kind of the luck comes in. Like someone saw that determination, someone saw that hard work, and was keen to just keep driving it.
Something else we really want to chat to you about. So aside from obviously what you do here and what you've done in the hospitality industry, so you do an awful lot of work for local communities, charities.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the work you do? So I've seen you do work for vulnerable women. You heavily promote equality, addressing mental health.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, where do I commence? So I think one of my most personal projects is working with the Marylebone Project, which I did for years. It commenced whilst I was at the Zeta, and I had that, again, fortune that the Zeta really supported me in doing it. And it's a homeless shelter that supports women and children dealing with drug abuse, leaving domestic abuse households, trying to get their lives together. For me, it's so the humanity, right? It's supporting people that have nothing. I guess when you've had nothing, you know how it feels. And it's so important for me to continually help and aid and support where I can, because I know I'm one person. There's only so much I could do. But with the kind of aids that I've had from the places that I've worked in, I've been able to make a much bigger impact than I could have alone. I also do a lot of work with mental health. I am just finishing up, finally, my psychology counselling level 5 as well. Thank you. Because I think mental health has been very taboo for a very long time, and then just completely dished out there. And everyone's talking about it, but no one knows what we're actually talking about. No one's talking about the elements of the industry that impact mental health, substance abuse, alcohol abuse, how prevalent it is within our industry. So I continue to hold those discourses and to have those conversations within and outside of the industry. And then working with local schools. A lot of those are based in South London, which is the area that I grew up in. Just speaking to youth that are at disadvantage, that, you know, you can do it, you can make it. There is opportunity out there for you, for people like us. And then universities, just trying to inspire that next generation. Like, it's not all bad. We're seen as the monster of all industries, and we're really not.
I think that's one thing with hospitality is, like I said earlier, is that clear pathway. There is no clear pathway, and I don't feel like it's pushed as a vacation as much as it should be.
No.
There's great opportunities in hospitality.
It's one of the most stable careers in any industry is hospitality. And there's so many fields that you can get into, but no one talks about it. You know, me, and I was studying law at the time. I thought, okay, receptionist, waitress, bartender. You don't think about the commercial aspect of the business. You don't think about the events aspect of the business. You know, even going into different parts, acquisitions of properties, commercial properties, it's never spoken about.
The podcast that we're doing is obviously all about leaders within hospitality. So what is your approach to leadership here? I know we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but how do you approach that? How do you bring your team together?
I'm not here 9 to 5. I don't hide in an office. I'm very transparent. I will explain the commercial aspects of the business to people within the team that don't understand it but are keen to explore and learn. I will sit down and run through P&Ls with any member of the team that's curious. Obviously, within reason, I will be here as you have seen, until 3 o'clock in the morning with my team, so that that team that also works through the night feels the support, and not this ghost that works for the company that actually they never see and don't know who I am. I am here. I am with you. I'm with you when it gets murky, when it's difficult, when it's tough, but I'm also here to celebrate all of you. It is very much, I am always approachable. I'm not always available because of the role that I do, but you can always reach out. The way I guard my leadership is I am an umbrella, and anyone that sits beneath my umbrella, it is my duty to ensure that they feel safe, that they're not getting soaked in the rain. And that's just how I describe it. And I think in practice, thus far, it's worked very well for me.
Where's that come from? Is that something that you've learned along the way, or is it kind of how you would have liked to have been managed? Like, what's the...
I think it's an amalgamation of both things. I've been managed poorly. I've been managed very poorly. I've been, for most of my career, been branded difficult. I've been told to stop asking questions. I've actually been told, you're very cute until you open your mouth.
Wow.
And that was by someone that was managing me. And I never want anyone to feel like that. Because me now would have retaliated. Me then was like, okay, I'm just, a junior person. What can I say to this?
And there will be other people out there that will have heard that will shrink into their shell and disappear from hospitality.
Just lead the industry, of course. Yeah. And it's conversations that I have with young women coming up in the industry so often. And, I've made myself available to every girl, woman in the industry, men as well, young men coming up in the industry, trying to unlearn the behaviours that have been so toxic for so long. I am always available. I might not respond to you straight away, but I am always happy to have a conversation. And I think it comes from that. And also, in my last role, I was led by a leader, not by a manager.
Obviously, you do a lot of public speaking, as everyone can probably tell, panel talks. I know you really enjoyed doing them.
I do.
Is there like a particular topic? I mean, we've probably touched on a little bit of it with kind of how you are, trying to inspire that next generation of people within hospitality. But is there something you want to change about the industry as a whole?
There's two key things I'd love to be able to support the change in within our industry. The first one of that is women within the industry, empowering and supporting women to not be so afraid to get those roles. We make up just under 50% of the workforce, but I think stats from last year, if I'm not mistaken, only 7% are in C-suite positions of women. That's unacceptable. So I want to support others in I don't want to be anyone's voice. I want to support in finding their voice. And if once I've finished a panel, one young individual comes up to me, even an older person, I've had people that are older than me come up to me and go, that's actually really inspiring. Can we have a conversation? That's the key in why I do that.
What do you think is kind of the biggest barrier stopping that change?
I think it's, one, the way the industry has always been.
Yeah.
We've just accepted it for what it is. And, I don't blame men in the sense that when it doesn't impact you, you don't understand. And when no one talks about it, that open discourse cannot happen. But I'm not willing to let it continue. And the other part of the problem is women. We are the problem for other women. I've had, unfortunately, quite a few, not one off, where the older generation of female leaders that have struggled so much, and, props to them for getting to where they've gotten to. But when I've tried to approach them for support as I was coming up, it wasn't there.
It almost goes back to that kind of, that strong female thing that you said growing up that you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Is providing kind of strong female leader
for women, not just I'm here now, screw you guys, they're at the bottom. I don't necessarily care. I've had to struggle so much to get here. Yeah, but I've struggled so much to get here. I want to ensure that you don't have to.
Who's kind of like the mentor or leader that's kind of had the biggest influence on you and your career so far?
Terrace, LV. He for so many reasons. He championed me from, like, he saw in me what I doubted in myself for a lot. You know, by the time I'd left Doyle, I was pretty burned out on my own accord. I cannot hold anyone else accountable for that but myself. And I started doubting myself, and he saw in me who I knew I was before I got to that burnout stage. And he was kind of the driving force. And he's so, you know him, he's very calm and he's very balanced. But it felt like at no point was I unsafe. I could just be the most me I am. Yeah. I could ask all of the questions. I could unpack things. And he just drove with it. He was like, you take the lead and I'm going to champion you. And I'd never experienced leadership like that before. And it changed the trajectory of my career. I am so, so grateful to that and to him. I think that's probably the person.
You're a great guy. Great guy. Less serious note.
Yep.
Give us some funny stories. Come on, we want some.
It must be so much from working in hotels.
Yeah.
Building under construction, a fox got into the roof and chewed through the cables. It's about midnight. I get a call going, you need to come on site. And I'm like, pajamas, chilling, ready to go to bed. The fire brigade's like, no, you can't come in here. I'm like, no, but my building's on fire. First and foremost, it's not my building. Run into the building. It's guys, I don't recommend barbecuing a fox. I can tell you that much. So I've gone back upstairs. They've come upstairs. They're like explaining to me what's happened. And they've got this bin bag in their hand. And they're like, oh, and this is the fox.
That's why you don't answer your phone late at night, because things like that.
That's why I turned my phone off after 7 p.m.
Wasn't on my bingo card, to be honest. Fox on fire.
Hey, who said that hospitality isn't an all-encompassing industry?
Yeah.
I think as a GM, you know better than most. You have to deal with everything, all kinds of things. And if it's fox on fire at midnight,
Fox is on fire.
There's foxes on fire.
Oh, and I got lectured by the fire brigade as well at midnight.
For running into a burning building, save a fox.
Absolutely not. For not closing the doors properly.
So it was your fault. It was all your fault.
It's always my fault. It's always my fault.
What's changed most from when you started in the industry to now? Like, what are the big, good or bad? What are the biggest changes?
Let's be realistic, right? Between the three of us, 10 years ago, you never would have seen a GM like me. We're there. We're now at the forefront of the industry. We are part of the change. And I think also the acceptance that the industry does need to change, because if you'd asked 10 years ago, it would have been absolutely not. This is the industry. This is how it goes. Very black and white. Yes. And that's changing and it's evolving and it's a beautiful thing to be a part of.
I think even seeing properties like the Mandrake, like 10 years ago, I mean, it is almost 10 years.
It is almost 10 years. But when it opened, the whole industry was like, I was working not too far from here when it opened. And we were like, what? Excuse me? This is insane. I was enthralled by the whole thing. I was like, this is phenomenal. But the rest of the industry didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I think with the Mandrake, you have to experience it to understand it.
Yeah.
What's been, I suppose, highlight of your career?
There's two things. The first one was achieving the Acorn 30 under 30. That was so important to me. And that came from 2016. I saw Joshua Craddock, again, one of my mentors at the time, win. And I was like, I want to get that. But it seemed so unachievable. I'm a foreigner. You know, I came from another country. I'm a female. No one's going to see me. Getting that Acorn. When LV called me at the time, because he submitted me to tell me that I'd won, I was like, are you sure they've got the right person? Like, it was that to me. And I think, do you know what the second biggest win was? Winning the Best Hotel Group at Hotel Magazine. Not because you two are here, but because the decision had been made for me that I believe in the Zeta. It was like our last hurrah.
Yeah.
So it was such a beautiful win to end with, because I left not long after we won the award. But it was a testament to all of the work that we'd done as a team, that cohesive team that was there from the beginning. And it was like, we did this. And it was a testament to all of that work.
I think just to kind of wrap things up, we've got a few quick fire questions.
Let's
kind
do
of
it.
get to know you a little bit better. Obviously, we know you very well, so
Too well sometimes.
not for us. 3 things that are essential for your job.
Tenacity, courage, patience.
What's your favourite city in the world
I don't know if I've found it yet, but for now,
so far?
it would be Vilnius in Lithuania.
Nominate one person to put in the Hoteliers Hall of Fame.
Neil Jacobs. He's done so much in the industry and he's done a lot of it quite quietly. He's now obviously made a lot of noise with his move from Six Senses onto his own thing, which I think is phenomenal.
What's your most important possession?
My passport.
Favourite restaurant?
Recent Kavita.
One travelling essential.
My red lipstick.
If you could pick 3 guests, past or present, to host here at the hotel, who would they be?
One is famous, 2 are not. Prince,
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
the Mandrake. And then 2 are from the very beginning of my career. One I've already mentioned through this podcast. It is Paul O'Brien. He was executive chef at the Royal Collection when I joined. And the other is Michael Neve, who was my general manager at Royal Collection, who's now retired. But I'd love them to see what their faith in me and where it's got me, because they believed in me.
It's a great answer. Favourite hotel? Can be anywhere in the world. Can't say Mandrake.
The one that I've been to thus far, my favourite, and not because of the property, because of the service that we received, the Rebelo in Portugal. It's so seamless. So shout out to Nick and the team. UK, one that I've visited already, Lucknow Park.
Okay.
It's a world away. It's a completely enthralling experience. And one that I want to go to, House of Gods.
Couldn't agree more. I'm sure Mike will be waiting for you to come and visit at some point.
Once he comes to the Mandrake, I'll consider it.
Finally, can you give us one question to ask the next person that we interview?
What are you doing to better the industry?
Good one.
Love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You've been more than a pleasure to have along. So, tradition on the podcast. We like to ask everyone that kind of comes and sits down with us one question. Same question for every single guest. What is your definition of hospitality and what do you love about the industry?
My definition of hospitality is changing lives, not saving them. Creating memories out of moments. And I just love that our industry is all about people. And the core of what we do is the human element, because the commerciality can be done. But the human element and seeing people's emotions, seeing the impact that you have on people's lives without realizing, because it's such minute moments. That's what hospitality is to me.
Thank you. You've been amazing.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.